Hello dear students, welcome you all to the 36th lecture of rural marketing. And today's lecture we will discuss the saving and investment avenues in rural areas, saving and deposit mobilization in rural areas, post office as a financial intermediaries, and financing of working capital and fixed capital. So moreover we are going to discuss the role of banks and different institutions providing uh, financial assistance to rural people. So let's start with this. First of all, we should understand that where all the rural people they invest their income, or where they do investments. Okay, so bank deposits are there, post office and saving schemes are there where they do a lot of investment, provision fund, they buy life insurance, they do purchase gold and silver, land and building, they do investment, and chit funds. So these are the sources of saving and investment. Now the topic is here, like saving and deposit mobilization, how it happens in rural India. So basically the small amount of savings the rural people they save in banks, and those savings are very small if you will see individually, but as a whole cumulatively it creates a lot of heavy amount which banks can use to lend to rural people for agriculture agriculture enterprises. It could be used as a fund for loans. So banks, insurance and capital markets play the role of intermediaries in mobilization of the firms. Okay, so they subsequently accept the savings and they lend them to the investors. And deposits are also could be given as working capital of the economy, and they could be given for the short term as well as the long run period. And deposits are also the working capital of the economy, and the sustainability and the profitability of banks are impossible without the deposit, because we know that whatever banks are giving for loans, whatever credits they are giving, the interest they are earning on that. Okay, so that interest is the profit for banks, and bank and financial institutions use deposit as a source of fund for loans and investment. Okay, so whatever that deposit is coming, that only they are giving as a credit to borrowers, and on behalf of that or on that loan they are earning some kind of interest. So banks, how they are getting profitability? Through interest. Okay, so how the money is rotating now, how the mobilization is happening? Suppose I have excess amount of money, I am keeping or I am doing saving in banks. So bank is utilizing my amount and giving it to the needy people who wants credit, and on that credit they are earning interest. Okay, so banks are earning interest, the borrowers is getting credit, and the person who has invested, the banks are giving some part of their interest to that the person who is saving that amount. So all are getting some kind of benefit. So like this the saving and deposit mobilize in rural areas. Next, the role of post office is very very important, and post offices as a financial intermediary we will see here. So post office are very old and the largest organization in India. And if you we will see the number of post offices, almost 1.55 lakh post offices are there in India, and about 2.5 lakh dak sevak, which we say postmen, are there. And in post offices over 5 lakh employees are working, and out of these 1.5 lakh post offices, almost 90% post offices are in rural areas, and their role is not limited only in the mode of communication, but they has a very important role as a financial services. Okay, they provide a wide array of financial services, like they accept deposits, saving accounts could be there. In terms of PPF, you can invest there. Monthly investment schemes are there. NSCs are there. So there are lot many financial services also which are running through post offices. And in rural India's setting, where everyone have not access to banking system, so there post offices play a very important role, and government use them to deliver the cash benefits under Manrega, old age, widow pension, disability pension, etc. So these are very important to reach to the poorest of the poor people in India, so that they can get the benefit. Let's have a few schemes run by post office: interest rate and annual minimum maximum investment. So these interest rate and these minimum and maximum investment limits are subjects to change. Government change all these interest rates time to time. Just this is the latest one. It could be changed over the 6 month period or in a year period of time. Just go through what are the schemes. Post office saving accounts are there. Current interest rate is 4%, and minimum investment is 20 rupees. From 20 rupees you can start. Next is national saving recurring deposit accounts, which you say RD for 5 years. It is 5.8% per annum. And national saving time deposit accounts are there. For 1 year you will get 5.5, 2 year 5.5, 3 year 5.5, and 5 years 6.7%. NSCs are there. National saving monthly income accounts are there. 6.6% of annum payable monthly is there. Senior citizen saving account is there. 7.4% per annum interest you can get out of that. PPF is there, 7.1% annually, and it is compounded yearly. NSC certificates are there, on which 6.8% compound annually you can get. Kisan Vikas Patra is there. KVP is very popular. 6.9% cumulated annually interest you can get. And Sukanya Samriddhi is there, 7.6%. And again, I am saying these interest rates are subject to change. So no need to mug up them. Just see what are the different schemes run by post office. And most of the rural settings, they invest in post office schemes because they provide a very good interest rate in compared to commercial banks. Next topic is financing of working capital and fixed capital. So first of all, we should learn that what is working capital and what is fixed capital. So when we are saying working capital, it means that the money which is required for day to day working. Okay. So like money required during production to make payments and buy other necessary items daily. Like if you are a farmer, or if you are a waiver, then wants you need on daily basis. If you are a potter, you need clay on daily basis. Okay. For farmers also, for daily to pay the laborers, agreed laborers, you need money. Okay, daily wage, for daily wages and all. So working capital is the amount which is used to pay your daily expenses. And whereas fixed capital, when we are saying, it is for a longer period of time, the capital you required, like to buy the tools, generators, turbines, building, computers, etc. So to fulfill the capital requirement for these long term things, you need fixed capital. And working capital, raw material and money in hand are called working capital. So I hope the difference is clear. Short term and long run. Okay, day to day working capital. Fixed capital for investment in the long period of time. So now we will see what are the different agencies are available which provides long fixed capital as well as working capital. And one column is representing your agencies, and another column is representing what are the credit facilities they are providing. So first category comes the commercial bank. From commercial banks, you can get the long-term credit for investment purpose, which we will say your fixed capital, and financing the working capital requirements also they do, like Wavier Cooperative Society and State Handloom Development Corporations are there, under which they give short term, or we will say working capital. Next agency is short-term cooperative structures. So state cooperative banks are there, district central cooperative banks, primary agriculture credit societies are there. So they provide short run, medium run, and term loans for investment purpose, financing of WCS for production. WCS is working capitals, okay, for production and marketing purpose. Financing state handloom development corporation for working capital by state cooperative banks. And there are long-term cooperative structures, state cooperative agriculture and rural development banks are there, which provide term loans for investment purpose also. Next is your regional rural banks are there, which provide short-run and term loans for investment purpose. State government also provides long-term loans for equity participation in cooperatives, and rural infrastructure development funds, loans for infrastructure projects. Apart from these, your NGOs on informal credit delivery systems are there. So, revolving fund assistance for various microcredit delivery innovations and promotional projects under credit and financial services, and rural promotion corporate funds respectively they provide. These all are the agencies which are provide long run as well as short run, which we will say fixed capital as well as working capitals. So these plays a very important role in fulfilling the credit requirements to rural people. So that is all for today's lecture. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any query, you can ping me on WhatsApp. I will solve your query there. Thank you so much for watching.